I'm Dawn Lopez from CBS 47 News. Every year, hundreds of children in North Florida are faced with the unthinkable, and that's being without parents or a home to call their own. Their lives turn upside down when they're placed into foster care, and oftentimes they're too young to understand why. Family Support Services of North Florida is the lead agency serving these children. It's responsible for finding them forever families in loving, supportive homes. It takes a collective effort to get the children adopted with the help of adoption specialists, guardian ad litem, the courts, and community partners like CBS 47. Last year, more than 500 children were placed into homes. That's a record for the state of Florida. Here are a few of the faces and stories in the children's own words. Hanging out with Brandon, I learned some pretty cool things about him. Yes, he's the typical teen who loves video games, but he also cuts his own hair. He's obsessed with Japanese animation, and
I actually brought my joke journal.
And he's writing his own joke book. He's pretty good at it too. He sprinkled jokes in all throughout our interview. What do you think you want to be when you grow up?
A little taller.
Anything else?
A scientist, maybe a writer.
Okay. Brandon needs something to smile about these days. He's been in and out of foster care since he was 6.
And my mom, she went to court and they said, if you're willing to stop smoking, you can have them. But she rather chose smoking instead of me.
His brothers are still with family members, but he's up for adoption.
They signed all the rights away from me.
Brandon told me for the first time in his life he feels free to be himself. He's now sharing his jokes with others and coming out of his shell with the help of his foster family. And he's hoping for a forever family of his own that will appreciate him just the same.
I just want a family that loves me for who I am.
Brandon told me something that's quite grown up for a young teenager. Despite what he's gone through, he can trust again, he can love again, and he wants to share lots of smiles and laughs with the people he can call mom and dad.
What do other people use more than you do?
What do other people use more than I do?
Your name.
That's a good one. They're typical boys in many ways. They love to run, jump, get messy, and enjoy a good laugh. These have to be 3 of the coolest kids I've ever met. You can go way back as far as wrestlers are concerned. Let me hear you go way back.
Like Ric Flair, Rocky Johnson, The Undertaker, Sting, Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall.
12-year-old Maurice studies wrestlers from the 80s, which is way before his time, but it helps keep his mind off of his many worries.
I really do worry about them. That's why I like pray every night that they be safe and stuff.
He's like any big brother, always looking out for these two, his little brothers, 9-year-old Dante and 5-year-old Sean, and with good reason. When I asked Maurice about life before foster care, he told me he and his brothers were bounced around a lot between family members, and then someone called DCF on his mom.
I remember that she had told me that I was going to a doctor's appointment, but they was like checking on our arms to see if it was scars on our arms.
Checking for physical abuse and neglect. That was about 3 years ago. And now the brothers are all split up in different foster homes.
We not together, and I really want me, Sean, and Dante to be together.
And we do too. Foster workers say Maurice is smart and responsible and always doting on his two best buddies.
They're talented and they're smart.
There's baby boy Sean.
He knows his ABCs. It seems like he's ready for school.
What do you want people to know about Dante?
That Dante is not like, he's a smart boy. He knows what he's doing. He just don't talk that very well.
Dante is a complete cuddle bug. This is what he enjoys the most: quiet time and lots of hugs. He's considered trainable handicapped. I found him to be a complete joy. And to his brothers, he's irreplaceable. And that's why these three musketeers want to stay together with a mom and a dad who understand it's all for one and one for all.
They mean a lot to me, and the reason why I tell them to stick with me, I want to be with my brothers more often.
Yeah.
Because you might never know if they get in a car accident and I won't never see them again.
That concerns you, huh?
Seems like I always fall short of being worthy.
Charnay hopes to use her voice one day to touch the hearts of those who are hurting. Hurt is something she knows about all too well.
When I was 3 and 4, I had to take care of my brothers and sisters every day.
That was only one reason she was taken from her mother. She tells me things got worse, though, when she was sent to live with relatives. Instead of finding a safe haven, she says she was molested until she gathered the courage to tell.
I told one of the ladies at my old school, and I don't know what happened. She must have found out I was real scared to go home every day.
She never went back. Instead, this 11-year-old was taken into foster care. The abuse stopped, but still Charnay feels alone. But she reminds herself often she did the right thing.
I said, you know what? I've had that type of life before. Now it's time for me to stand up for myself.
And we're hoping you will take a stand and help this bright and energetic girl write a new chapter.
Like series and mysteries.
Charnay told me the only thing she loves more than singing is reading. But Charnay's biggest mystery right now isn't from the pages of a book, but the pages of her heart.
Yeah, I figure it's gonna be a little bit harder because I'm a little bit older. Not a lot of adults like adopting older kids.
But you could help prove her wrong. Step up, be the one who loves this girl full of life and courage. Be the one who writes her happy ending.
I dream of going on vacations with my mom. I dream of doing exciting things with my mom, staying at home watching movies and eating popcorn at night and stuff.
We want you to hear from the children themselves and to also visit the Family Support Services Heart Gallery website. Just touch the button below to get started. Imagine being a child with no mom and no dad. Take it from me, there is no greater joy than to see a family being created. The foundation of each of our lives is the connection that we have with our loved ones. Well, now we want you to take a moment to hear from some of the families who have created a brand new life for a child. Last year, my photographer from Family Support Services and I took this little girl to get her first library card. It seemed the perfect place to spend time with a big dreamer who loves to lose herself in a good book. You want to put this in our pile? But her big dreams were starting to dim.
I've been in foster care since I was 2.
This 10-year-old was starting to lose hope that she would ever be adopted until...
It was on Channel 47. on the news, 12 o'clock news, when we saw her. My husband said call, which I was kind of shocked when he just said call, you know, because we hadn't talked about it.
What caught my heart was that, you know, the way she, you know, the things that she was saying.
That story aired more than a year ago. Where is Janetta? Hi, Janetta. She's taller, she's happy, and she has parents, her own mom and dad.
Well, the day I met you, I thought that no one would adopt me, but now I'm happy.
You really thought nobody would adopt you? Why did you think that?
Because I've been in foster care a long time.
Janetta had no idea Tinsley and Virginia McLaughlin would not rest until they brought that little girl they saw on TV home. They immediately called the number they saw on the screen.
Seemed like she was a child that was all alone, you know, didn't have no one. And she seemed like she needed a lot of love.
The McLaughlins were told a 10-week adoption program was starting that same night. They went and never looked back. It would be months before they got to meet their not-so-little girl, and that same day they took their first family photo.
When I first walked through that door, I seen her sitting there. I said to my wife, she's kind of tall, ain't she?
I knew that was a perfect family. My foster mom, she told me to pray about it because she had someone who was adopted before. She said she really wanted me to be adopted. So I prayed.
And it worked. 8 months after her story aired, Janetta came to visit the McLaughlins at their home in St. Augustine and never left.
When she first came, I think we stood outside and just embraced one another for probably about 2 hours. And we just stood there. And I just embraced her, you know, to make sure that she knew that this was going to be it.
To prove it, Virginia and Tinsley already had Janetta's room ready.
It just seemed like she really belonged here. 2 weeks later, we were riding home, and she said, Mama. I'm like, Mama, you know? And that day, it's been Mama and Daddy ever since.
She's the best mama in the world, best daddy in the world. He does things for me. He's the best daddy.
At night I took her in, you know. If I don't come in there, she'll call me.
Tinsley and Virginia each have 2 grown children, and Janetta is now their baby. It took 8 months to bring her home, but she's here, and they want to encourage others with this story of love to consider adoption too.
Like I was telling my wife, and I said, we got extra room, so why not make that room for some child?
Go for it, you know, to go for it, because it has been very rewarding for our family. You can change a child's life.
Like Janetta McLaughlin, she was given up for adoption at 2 years old, and at 10 years old, she finally found a home thanks to these 2 everyday heroes.
Congratulations.
Dawn Lopez, CBS 47 News. Days before Christmas, I got this email at work and it brought tears to my eyes. Good afternoon. After watching your Jacksonville Children's segment, we're in the process of adopting Octavia and Tiana. I'm unable to have children, and this Christmas is such a blessing to us for the 2 little angels we're adopting. Thanks for the segment. It all started with you, and for that we're very thankful to you. Jasmine Engelman. Jasmine Engelman and her husband first saw their future daughters in this Jacksonville Children's segment last spring. It showed one playful 3-year-old with a bright smile and one bashful baby, only 1-year-old, whose tight grip said it all. She longed to be held.
And they kind of had our hearts from the very beginning when we saw them playing and interacting with you.
Months after our story aired, our Family Support Services photographer and I headed out to Metro Park to meet Jasmine and her girls.
After the first visit, I knew. I mean, I told myself, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to try to not let my heart get all excited, you know, but I knew, and I just kept pursuing it. I kept calling.
It's the fairy tale ending Jasmine was hoping for. She says she needed her little angels as much as they needed her, and days ago, her prayer was answered.
Thank you for making them ours.
Just Mommy.
But for Jasmine, it was a done deal when her heart melted the day we showed little Octavia and Tiana on TV.
I pinched myself a couple times just to make sure I wasn't dreaming and this was for real. But every day when I pick them up from daycare, when they see me pull up, because they're normally playing outside, because I come about the same time every day, and when you see those two kids take off running off the playground and say, "Mommy, Mommy, Mommy," it just gets my heart every day. And these two little girls solely rely, you know, on me, and I'm their everything, and they're our everything.
And what do the girls think about adoption?
I know what adoption means.
You do? What does it mean?
Mommy and Daddy forever, ever.
Aww. Oh, mwah. I'm glad you're happy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We welcome you to visit our website by touching the button below. And for more information on adopting one of Jacksonville's children, call Family Support Services. Here's the number. It's 904-421-5839, or log on to our website, www.heartgalleryjax.org. Thanks for your interest in Jacksonville's children.